What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my DVD collection 2016 Adventure Part 2. So yep, we finished first part of Adventure with the K's, so let's start off with the L's. Up first we have Lady Snowblood from 1973, directed by Toshio Fujita, starring Maiko Kaji. Fantastic samurai films, and I also got the sequel, Lady Snowblood Love Song of Vengeance from 1974. I just recently picked up the Criterion collection version of these two films, the complete Lady Snowblood, if you saw my update from last week. Alright, moving on, we have The Last of the Mohicans, fantastic film, of course, directed by Michael Mann, starring Daniel Day-Lewis from 1992. Up next we have The Last Samurai from 2003, one of my favorite films of the past decade. Great film starring Tom Cruise and Ken Watanabe, directed by Edward Zwick. Fantastic music, fantastic battle scenes, love this film. Next we have Lawrence of Arabia, David Lean's classic, of course, from 1962, starring Peter O'Toole, Omar Sharif, Peter Ustinov. Fantastic film. Alright, moving on down here, we have Legionnaire. Sorry about the glare. Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme film. One of the last films of his I picked up. One of his straight-to-video movies from 1998. Really cool film. I like this movie a lot. Yeah, if you're a Van Damme fan, I highly recommend that movie. Okay, up next we have Life of Pi on Blu-ray. Fantastic film, of course, directed by Ang Lee, from 2012. Beautiful visuals, just a beautiful movie overall. Next we have The Man in the Iron Mask from 1998. Yeah, really fun film, great cast, Leo DiCaprio, Jeremy Irons, John Malkovich, Gerard Depardieu, Gabriel Byrne, sort of the Four Musketeers type. Next we have The Man Who Would Be King from 1975. Fantastic movie starring Sean Connery, Michael Caine, and Christopher Plummer, directed by John Huston. Made a number of films with Sean Connery in the mid-70s. Next we have The Mark of Zorro from 1940, starring Tyrone Power, Basil Rathbone, and Linda Darnell. Next we have The Mask of Zorro, of course, from 1998. Really fun film directed by Martin Campbell. Antonio Banderas, fantastic, of course. Anthony Hopkins, and the film that introduced most of us to Catherine Zeta-Jones, and there's nothing wrong with that. Love her in this movie. Liked her ever since, basically. And the kind of disappointing sequel from 2005. Yeah, not nowhere near as good as the first one, but still a fun movie. Okay, next we have Master and Commander, The Far Side of the World. Fantastic film from 2003, one of my favorites of that year, starring Russell Crowe and Paul Bettany, directed by Peter Weir, fantastic director. Yeah, I was disappointed they didn't make more of these, because there's a whole series of books that those are based on, and I just loved everything about that movie. Next we have The Messenger, the story of Joan of Arc. Sorry, again the glare. Luc Besson film, starring Mila Jovovich, of course, as Jeanne d'Arc, John Malkovich, Faye Dunaway, Dustin Hoffman. Interesting take on Joan of Arc. Could have been better, but it is what it is. Next we have Moby Dick from 1956, starring Gregory Peck. Next we have Mongol, or The Rise of Genghis Khan. Fantastic film from 2007. Great foreign film. Fantastic movie. Okay, next we have the Mummy franchise, not the horror version. The Mummy, the first one from 1999, starring Brendan Fraser. Film that introduced most of us to Rachel Weisz. Big fan of her. Yeah, still fun, the first one. Arnold Vosloo as the Mummy. Good stuff. Then we have The Mummy Returns from 2001. Of course, with The Rock as the Scorpion King. And the least desirable of the franchise. The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor from 2008. Jet Li's in this one. Yeah, really kind of fake looking in parts, that movie. And no Rachel Weisz, big letdown. Next we have Mutiny on the Bounty from 1935 with Charles Lawton and Clark Gable. Next we have two films that I'm very fond of, and this week I've caught my sister watching this movie twice on TV when it's been on. She was watching it yesterday. National Treasure from 2004. Really a big fan of this movie. John Turteltaub directed. Nicolas Cage, loads of fun as a treasure hunter. I really like Diane Kruger in this. John Voight, really good as the father. The guy who plays the comic relief, I forget his name. He's good in this as well. Justin Barthia. That's right. Sean Bean, good as the villain. And then we have National Treasure 2, Book of Secrets. Not as good as the first one, but Helen Mirren as Nicolas Cage's mother is a good addition. Still fun stuff. Next we have Terrence Malick's The New World from 2005. Terrific film with Colin Farrell, Christopher Plummer, Christian Bale, Corianka Kilcher. Yeah, really looking forward to getting this on Criterion Collection. I know it came out this past month, but I'll probably wait till November when the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale rolls around again to pick that version up. Okay, next we have the Pirates films. Pirates of the Caribbean, of course. The first one, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Fantastic movie. I love this film. Directed by Gore Verbinski. Johnny Depp, wonderful as Jack Sparrow. Jeffrey Rush, Orlando Bloom, Keira Knightley. Loads of fun. Then we have Dead Man's Chest from 2006. Bill Nighy, good as Davy Jones, of course. And my favorite of the franchise, At World's End from 2007. The visuals in this movie I think are stunning, especially the maelstrom scene towards the end of the film. Chow Yun-fat in this one as well. Yeah, I love this movie. It's got so many great moments. The music, I love everything about Pirates of the Caribbean. The fourth one, not so much though. On Stranger Tides, was kind of disappointed, but with this one, Ian McShane. I guess he played Blackbeard in this one. Okay, moving on, we have Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time with Jake Gyllenhaal from 2010. Ben Kingsley did pretty poorly, of course, based on the video game. I don't remember much about it, but yeah, it wasn't that great. Okay, talking about a great film now, we have Red Cliff Part 1 and Part 2. Fantastic movie, couple of movies directed by John Woo from 2008 and 2009. Tony Leung, Takeshi Kaneshiro. Awesome battle scenes. Everything about these movies is just fucking great. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I can't recommend those films enough. Next we have The River Wild from 1994 with Meryl Streep, Kevin Bacon, and David Strathairn. Next we have Rob Roy from 1995, fantastic movie with Liam Neeson and Jessica Lange, directed by Michael Caton Jones. Tim Roth, awesome as the villain. Love that movie. Next we go on to quite a few Robin Hood films. Robin and Marion from 1976 with Sean Connery, Audrey Hepburn, and Robert Shaw, who I'm a big fan of. Directed by Richard Lester, that film. Next we have Ridley Scott's Robin Hood from 2010 with Russell Crowe and Cate Blanchett. I like this a lot. Mark Strong, really good in this movie as well. I know a lot of people didn't care for it, but I dug it. Next we have Robin Hood, Men in Tights from 1993. Of course, Mel Gibson's classic with Cary Elwes. Why is it not in the comedy section, you ask? Well, it's about Robin Hood, and even though it's a comedic version of Robin Hood, obviously I still like to put it in my adventure section of my other Robin Hood films. And now probably my favorite Robin Hood film, without a doubt, is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves from 1991. Yes, directed by Kevin Reynolds. Fantastic music. I love everything about this movie. Kevin Costner, awesome. Morgan Freeman, wonderful addition. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. Alan Rickman is the villain. Is the Sheriff of Nottingham. Fantastic. Christian Slater. I love everything about this movie, and I've talked about it on many occasions. Next we have Romancing the Stone from 1984. Great couple movies that were made in the 80s with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. Really loads of fun. Sort of your poor man's Indiana Jones, or the King Solomon's Mines type. Same with The Jewel of the Nile from 1985. Danny DeVito as well co-stars in those movies. Next we have The Rundown from 2003 or 2004, I want to say. Yeah, fun film with The Rock and Sean William Scott, set in the Brazilian Amazon. Christopher Walken, really fun as well as the villain. Good stuff. Next we have Sahara from 2005 with Matthew McConaughey, Steve Zahn, and Penelope Cruz. Okay movie. It's a remake of a Humphrey Bogart film from the 1940s. Next we have Samurai Assassin from 1963. Fantastic film starring Toshiro Mifune, of course. Next we have The Scorpion King, sort of the spin-off to The Mummy Returns from 2002, of course, with The Rock reprising his role. The late great Michael Clarke Duncan in it as well. It's cheesy fun. I dig it. Next we have another Errol Flynn classic, The Seahawk from 1940. Co-starring Brendan Marshall, Claude Rains, Alan Crisp. Great stuff. Next we have Season of the Witch from 2011. Good film with Nicolas Cage and Ron Perlman. I dug that movie. Next we have Shogun Assassin, classic of course from 1980. Next we have The Ten Commandments from 1956. Fantastic film, of course, starring Charlton Heston as Cecil B. DeMille's Moses, of course. Yul Brynner. Yeah, fantastic movie. Okay, get back in there. Come on. Okay, now we move on to my Three Musketeers films. Big fan of the story in general. Alex Dumas' classic, The Three Musketeers. This version from 1948. Gene Kelly, June Allison, Lana Turner, Van Heflin, Angela Lansbury. Yeah, fantastic fun. And then probably my favorite version of The Three Musketeers is the 1993 version. Love the music, One for All for One and One for All. The song by Bryan Adams, Sting, and Rod Stewart that they did. Yeah, fantastic, fun cast. Of course, Chris O'Donnell is D'Artagnan. And then you've got Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, and Oliver Platt as the Three Musketeers. And then Rebecca De Mornay, so sexy as what's her name? And then Oliver Platt, or sorry, Tim Curry as the Cardinal Richelieu. Just a great villain as well. Tim Curry, always a fun actor to see on screen. Then we have The Three Musketeers 3D version, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson from, when this came out, it was 2011, I think. It had some good visuals, it had some good stuff in it. I liked parts of this movie, I won't lie, but it's no Three Musketeers that you grew up on. Next we have The Tomb Raider, or just Lara Croft Tomb Raider, that's the title, yeah, with Angelina Jolie from 2000s. Never really played the video game and wasn't a fan of the sequel, so I don't have the sequel. But it has its moments, the first one, I think. Next we have The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, fantastic movie starring Humphrey Bogart from 1948. Yeah, directed by, who directed this? John Huston, that's right. Yeah. Walter Houston co-stars, just a fantastic film, love that movie. Okay, next we have my Troy box sets, director's cut, my favorite film of 2004, or my second favorite, one of those. Yeah, great film directed by Wolfgang Peterson, starring Brad Pitt and Eric Bana, Orlando Bloom, Diane Kruger. Yeah, I love everything about Troy. The battle scenes in Troy are just fantastic. The one-on-one battles and the big epic giant battles. Next we have The Twilight Samurai from 2002, a modern modern-made samurai film by Yoji Yamada, winner of Best Foreign Language Film for that year. Terrific movie. Next we have The Vikings from 1958, starring Kirk Douglas, Tony Curtis, Ernest Borgnine, and Jeanette Lee. Really good movie. Next we have The Way Back on Blu-ray from 2010. Really good film from director Peter Weir again, starring Ed Harris and Colin Farrell, Jim Sturgis and Saoirse Ronan, about an escape from a Russian gulag prison camp, and then their trek down towards the Himalayas. Just a really good film. And next we have The Wind and the Lion, again from 1975, starring Sean Connery and John Huston, Candice Bergen and Brian Heath. Again, directed by this is directed by John Milius, but produced by John Huston, I think. I want to say. Oh, never mind. Okay, last but not least, we have Zulu from 1964. Fantastic film starring Michael Caine, Stanley Baker, and Jack Hawkins. So that is my adventure collection. And then tomorrow it will be on to the animation. Yeah, I think I'll split up animation into two parts, because I think the first time I shot these videos, animation, I did all in one go, but it's grown quite a lot since then. So thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see ya.
Bom.